Okay, so today we're in this video. We're going to go over chapter 7 that's in your book, and it talks about some advanced techniques you can actually use with hyperlinks as well as with CSS. And we're also going to talk about how making three column page formats with using CSS. So in the previous chapter, we or in the previous chapter in the past, we talked about we did two column layouts, but now we're actually going to do it three. And we're also going to talk about responsive design, or how to make your web page look nice and pretty for your uh, for your mobile device. So about over half, or probably even more than that, websites nowadays are actually uh, viewed on a mobile device. So when you're designing a web page or website, you need to be keep that in mind. So when a person does view your website on a mobile device, they can get the same experience that or user experience that the person who actually views it on a desktop would. Okay, so that's what we're going to go over today. Um, it's, um, yeah. So here, this because a web server is based on a computer and a website is based on a bunch of files that you put together or you link together. You have to, for file management purposes, you may want to include folders or subfolders inside of your website, so make it make navigating through for the web developer, making navigating through the website and all the pages and stuff much faster. So when you start doing that, you're going, and especially with your hyperlinks, you have to tell the web browser, okay, this is where this file is located. This file is located in this particular folder. So so what that means is that in the past we've talked about, oops, no, yeah. So we basically we're just putting just for href, we're just putting the either the HTML, or we were putting the website address. But now, because we're dealing with multiple folders, we have to include the name of the folder in there as well. Highlighter. There you go. Yeah, so we have to include the name of the folder in there as well. Ooh. So, so when you do your hyperlink, you put the name of the folder, slash, and then whatever HTML, whatever file that you're accessing from inside that folder. Now, if you were to leave out or jump back to to the previous place where you were, you will actually put in inside of that on that link, you'll type in two dots, and that you basically, and that lets the browser know that that page that you're going to click on is actually in a folder that's out of the folder that you're in. Yeah, so let's actually play with that for a while. Yeah, we got a highlighter. Okay, all right. So I have a folder. Let's see. And is it? Try to remember where it is. Demo. I think so. Demo. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So we can do it. You can do this. Use this one. Yeah. All right. So here I have and I believe this file is also on our D2L webpage under. I think it's actually under chapter 7. I believe. Um, but here. Yeah. So let's say here I'm going to open. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this index file. It's been a while since I played with this, so I have no idea what's on it. Okay, there it is. All right. It's so you have images over here. Looks nice. Then you have your menu over here. All right. Now, if I open up this HTML in Notepad, decide to come over here. There you go. All right. Now see all the good stuff. Right. And we'll probably use this a little bit more probably later today too, or in this video. There you go. Yeah. So here, this is all of the. So this is the menu. All right. This is the menu right here. All right. So let's say if we wanted to put. I have the images folder. There it is. So down here, I have actually, you know what? I'll go back. So this is where the file. There is no file for. I'm going to change this actually to. I got one called index2 .html, and I am going to show you. I'm going to put this index2 the HTML file inside of a folder on inside of another folder. So I'm going to come back here to my file explorer. I'm going to make a folder. Let's see, called index, and I'm going to put this folder or this right here inside of that index folder. All right. You also so you can split screen it. All right. So now this right here has my index2 in it. Now because I put that index2 the HTML file inside of a folder, I now have to tell the web browser to go inside of that index folder to access that index2 the HTML file. So what I'm going to do is here, right in front of the name of the website or the file name, I'm going to type in the name of the folder, index/index2 the HTML. So this right here lets the browser know that this right here is a folder. Okay. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now let's go ahead and test this link to make sure it works. I think it was Spring, wasn't it? Yeah, so if I click on the Springers, I think that's what it's called. It opened back up. Alright. Now, this I have, and now you can see from here, I'm inside the index folder. But let's say I want to go back to the home folder, to where it was before. Now, if you can look down here at the bottom, you notice it's telling me that, okay, it says index.html. You might be able to see if I can put it over here. Yeah, look way down here at the bottom. It says index/index.html. That is not the location of that file. Since I'm in that folder, it's saying that file is inside that folder, which is not true. So I'm gonna have to go inside of the index2.html folder or file and tell it to go out of the index folder to go back to the top of the folder so we can get where the actual location is for the index.html file. So I'm going to so right here. So I'm going to go in my index folder. I'm gonna have to edit my index2 the HTML file, so I can actually tell it when it clicks on the home tab to go back to the original index.html file. So of course I'm gonna come over here, scroll down here to the bottom. Okay, here it is. All right, so here. Now this is my index2 the HTML file. So here, this page right here, this index.html file is located outside of my index folder. So I'm going to have to tell on this menu, on this hyperlink, I'm going to have to put my 2 dots and my slash, so I can let the browser know that this particular file is not inside this folder. So it can actually go back and find the actual location, go back to its actual location. Alright, so I'm gonna save that. Because I should have actually show you what would happen. Alright, so this right here, as you can see, is the actual index2 the HTML file. since I have not, so took out the two dots to make it actually push back to the outside that folder. So when I click on home, yeah, it's gonna give me an error because it's trying to tell me that the index.html file is inside the index folder, which is not true. So I'm gonna have so when you go in, so that's when we have to go back to the index.html index2.html file and tell the file or tell the browser, okay, you have to go outside of that index folder to get this file, and you'll do that by using having just the two dots in front of it, two dots slash and index.html. Excuse me. So I'll go ahead and save that, and now I'm going to open up. I want to go back to my index2.html file, and I'm going to click on my home button. Now it actually takes me back to the index.html file. All right, so that's what they call your relative linking. They do this a lot with images too. Yeah, it's standard that you whenever you're dealing with a lot of images, they have all the images in a folder called images, and when you are having them displayed, to make sure to tell it or display tell them or tell the browser to go inside the images folder to get that image. um, yeah, let me go back here. Wait, next page, yeah. So here, um, I think here it is. It's a little bit earlier, but yeah. So this right here is telling the browser that inside of this images folder you'll have this PSL, PLS, thumbs.jpg folder of image in there. And let me make sure it's legit. Alright. Yeah, so right here I have my images folder. And when I click on my images folder, there you go, I have my image right there. And if I had a image that was outside of the images folder that I want to show, I'll do the exact same thing that with my two dots. So I will take the images out, put my dots, and then it will actually go out of that images folder, so I can it can access that file outside of that folder. Okay, so that's, like I said, a web browser is basically just a computer, and because you can sometimes have up to, I mean, depending on how big the website is, you can have, thousands of web pages inside the website. So you want to try to keep it organized as much as possible. And when doing that, especially when you start adding folders, you're gonna have to manipulate your hyperlinks inside of your website so it can actually match each item up, so everything can be shown. All right. All right. So next thing is they have what they call fragment. They call it, I think your book calls, I think, fragment identifiers. But basically what they are um, they're internal hyperlinks. All right. In some cases you may have a website that has a lot of information in it that's like really long, and instead of actually having the user scroll all the way down using to find information, you can actually have like a little internal menu for that page, and when the person clicks on the little hyperlink, it takes them to a section or different section or another section of that particular page. Now, a really good website that actually does this is Wikipedia, because I mean, let me go to Wikipedia real quick, because Wikipedia, on some of those entries, they can get really long. Wikipedia main page. All right. Let's see, the campaign, World War II. Alright. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on this one. Okay, ooh. Okay, good. So this one has a lot of stuff in it. So here I'm scrolling all the way down here, scrolling. So you can imagine just scrolling all day, or to get to certain information to read all of this. Well, if you notice up here at the top, it has a little content section, or has like a little menu. Each one of these entries on this menu is a hyperlink that takes you to another place, or a section on this web page. So they say events. Yeah, let me go someone far down. That's cool. Yeah, the Battle of Cape. I'm gonna click on this and see it actually jumps me all the way down to the part of that web, or the web page that actually has that that particular subject or title on it. So and and like I said, this is what your browser, your book calls a fragment identifier. I'm probably refer to it as a internal hyperlink, because that's what they used to call it back in the day. but but just know that that's what that is. And I'm going to right now actually show you how to do it. I have a file. I hope it's going. I think I was playing with the Constitution, United States Constitution, because that's really long too. Um, there it is. Yeah. So inside it, that can get pretty long. So you go ahead and open this up. I'm gonna open up in Chrome, so you can actually see how long this is. And it's actually much longer than this. Like I see, I haven't actually changed out all the sections, but it's really long. We can get it longer. It's longer than this. But I want to show you how we can make a internal hyperlink, so we can so it allows us to actually easily navigate the web page much faster. All right. So I'm going to open up my I'll open up my constitution.html file in Notepad. Of course, has to come over on this other screen. Alright. So here it is. This is my constitution. Right. So what I can do, I can have, what I have to do is, first I have to assign an ID to each section or each heading. So I have a heading here for Article 1. I have a heading here for Article, for the Section 1. And so I will assign each one of these an ID. ID, let's say equals, now I'm gonna call it 1, or trait art 1. Art 1. There you go. And let's say for my section, I'll make an ID called, let's say section 1. Alright. Now I'm gonna come down here just a little bit further, so I can show you exactly how this works. Yeah. So I'm gonna come down here to section 8. Wow, what's this? You don't say what article is this? Okay, so still section. Okay, article. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go down here. So for my section 8, I'm gonna come down here to add an ID, and I'll call it sec 8. And I'm gonna come down here just a little bit further. 9. There it is. And have my article 2 down here. So I'm gonna say put an ID in there, equal. I'm gonna say art 2. Alright. Now that we have our IDs in here, now we're going to have a hyperlink. Now we're going to come up here to the top, and we're going to make a small and real quick menu, and we're going to link these IDs. We're going to, instead of using files to link or use a hyperlink, we're going to use those actual IDs or section IDs. or heading IDs. So I'm gonna quickly do. I can't remember how many they were. Yeah, y'all keep me. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and actually put them in there. Also do my ending tag here. I think. Do we have 6? I'm gonna put 5 on here, and we may have an extra bullet. All right. Now, in between my LI tags, this is where I'm gonna put my hyperlink. All right. So I'm gonna put my anchor tag href equals. Now down here at the bottom, the very first one we're going to assign is article 1. So in parentheses, not in parentheses, quotation marks on I'm going to put arc. I'm going to put hashtag or £, and the name of the ID, and it was art1. All right. So I'm going to close it out. And of course, remember, you have to give it a title that you want everybody to see. I'm going to go on. All right. So that right there is the first hyperlink, internal hyperlink. Now we can do let's do the section there. So I'm gonna do my section 1 equals hashtag, and I had sec1. And you see I'm closing because it's a hyperlink. You have to close it out with your ending anchor tag or tag. Right. So let me go down here to the bottom and pick up the other IDs that we made earlier. We had one called section 8. All right. Right. We had another one down there too, didn't we? Oops. Oh, we had article. That's right. We had article 2. I think that was the last one, wasn't it? Yeah, we had article 2. All right. My word. Okay. All right. All right. Now we have a little menu. All right. It's got straight UL tag. Menu. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. And now I'm going to refresh. All right. And there I have my hyperlinks. I have my hyperlinks up here. So when I click on one of these hyperlinks, it's going to take me to that particular section or that particular header inside the actual web page. So, section 1. Yeah, so it took me to section 1. Come down here, article 2. Yeah, so it jumps me all the way down here to article 2. All right. So yeah, it can get quite lengthy, as you can see. Yeah, so I just though those fragment identifiers, as they call them, can actually make them so much better for yeah, when you're actually um, having someone actually to design a web page to make it easier to navigate. Um, what you also may see too is you also have one. I think your book shows you too. Tells you back to top. And you've probably seen those before. So instead of actually having to scroll back, if you click on Article 2, instead of actually having to scroll back up to get back to the little menu, you can have a little internal hyperlink in here that says back to top. And when you click on it, it'll take you back up to the top of the document. So let's actually do that real quick. Yeah, so inside of this right here, let's right here give this UL tag. Let's give it the ID of top. Alright, so if I come down here, all the way down to, let's say article 2. Let's go all the way down to article 2. There you go. And right here, right after it, if I put article 2, da 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 da, and I put a article 3 right there. Alright, so down here, right here, and put some breaks in here. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to put a hyperlink. It's a regular old hyperlink. And I'm going to tell it to do hashtag top. And you tell it back to top. Alright. So now, you also put a thing on there too, so you'll be able to see a little bit better. Alright. So now, when I save this and bring it and scroll down to the end of article 2, you will see this hyperlink that says back to top and allow you to actually, when you click on it, it'll take you straight back up to the top of the document or the web page. You hit save. Alright, let me do my refresh. Alright, so if I click on article 2, it says all my articles right here, and then right here I have my hyperlink that tells me back to top. So when I click on back to top, it takes me all the way back to the beginning of the page. Right, and so that's how those different hyperlinks work, or some of the advanced things you can do with hyperlinks. Like I said, it's definitely to make, yeah, the first one is definitely to make your for file management. There you go. For file management, and definitely the internal hyperlinks or the fragment identifiers. Those are definitely used to enhance the user experience, make it easier to use. All right. Alright, so next, yeah, put it on pause a little bit. Yeah, so next thing your book talks about is called ARIA. And ARIA is it's, what it's called, it's not a standard yet, but it allows for you to put the names of roles as on part of your websites. And web pages to let devices know, to let accessibility browsers know what part of the web, so it can make it easy to navigate your web page. So you may have a web page, or you may have a device that is reading a image, or maybe reading a web page, and it gets to the header, roll, a banner. What usually it'll you can actually say in the banner you can actually tell what the website is about, like either the company name or the school's name or whatever, and it'll actually read it out. And and for form, you can actually have the roll of form saying, and so it just tells us, okay, this is a form, and it starts spitting out. I won't say spitting out, but it actually starts telling the person what free fields are actually inside of that particular form, so it can actually be filled out. Yeah, so it's definitely becoming more. Definitely becoming a more. I would say more. Yeah, more of a standard because there's a real big push to make all websites accessible, to include accessibility elements. So, and I think they actually, I know there's a push for it to have it to make it, I think, universal within the next couple of years. So definitely, if you want to start doing making websites as a hobby or as a career, you will have to um, have all of your websites be accessible using ARIA or some other type of. What I like about using ARIA, yeah, you'll have to use it. So that's what ARIA is, right? The next thing that your book talks about is it talks about how you can open up a hyperlink in a brand new tab or brand new make a pop up. Yay! All right. So I'm trying to see. They can still use the Constitution. They can still use that. All right. So let's say you want to have we have a link on the website where you want that particular website to actually pop up in another window. Well, you can actually tell the hyperlink to move to tell it give it a target of blank. See, oh, and so so blank is saying that I want to be a blank page, a brand new page. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go back to my constitution.html file, and I am going to scroll up here. A lot of scrolling. All right. So let's say here I want to put a link to the actual website that has the Constitution on it, or one of the many. So I can say, yeah. So here in my menu, I can put another entry in here. And let me find the name of the website that actually has this. I got this from. Um, Constitution Project. That's what it was. It's absolutely amazing they actually have this website. This has all the constitutions of the world, all in one location. All right, United States. All right, and I want the HTML version. All right, so I'm going to copy. So I'm going to copy this link right here, and I'm going to use. Yeah, there you go. And I'm gonna have it tell it to go to that address. All right, now so want to make it go to another make a new window, you have to add the attribute of target. So after you put in your href and you put in the address, after the last quote, quotation mark, you'll put in the attribute of target. Right. Target equals, and then in quotation marks you're going to put underscore blank. All right. This lets the browser know that it's going to browser know that you want this website to open up in a brand new tab or a brand new window. All right. So I'm hitting save. Target. Oh man, I haven't finished it yet. What? I can't save it yet. All right. So now what I want to say, I could say complete constitution. So now I have added that extra link in there to my menu. When I save this and go back to okay, there you go. Now reload my page, my constitution here. You now have this link. So when I click on this link, it should now open up this page in a brand new tab. Yep. Yay. Alright. Yeah, so that's how and there's some cases you may want to open up a page in a brand new page um in a brand new page in another tab, because you may be you may not be able to see all of the information in there, or you want to give the person the capability of actually moving back and forth between the original page and the new page. So there are many different ways why you would actually have or use the um, target blank attribute on a hyperlink. But no, it is there, and in some cases a pop-up blocker will block it. So you may have to use that. Let's see, wisely. Yes, so you definitely use it with caution. All right, what else we got here? All right. So the next thing it talks about in your book, it talks about a new HTML5 tag called a block tag, and it's not necessarily an actual new tag. It's just a different way of actually allow a different way of actually showing things on this, in the browser. They call it the block anchor. It allows you to actually display information as a block when within a hyperlink. So it basically allows you to actually add HTML inside the hyperlink tag. Yeah, I'll show you real quick. So I'll make a hyperlink. I actually keep this hyperlink down here. Yeah, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to add it to a new place. Alright. Alright, so let me go ahead and copy this down here. I'm trying to find some place to put it. Actually, I know what I'll do. I'll actually put it right below. You can actually use it right here. Alright, so I'm going to take my hyperlink that I have here. I'm going to edit. So inside of this part right here, the part that we want the people to see, we're going to actually change that. And we're going to actually put in the H1 tag here that we have that has the name of the hyperlink, or what it's going to be named a hyperlink. So for example, H1 tag with United States Constitution in it. So I'm going to take you out. And if you want to put like a paragraph tag in there, giving a brief description of what it is. Cite the United States Constitution. Oops. Alright, I'm gonna close it out. And now I can close, now that I have everything I want to put in there, I can now close out my hyperlink with the end of it. And when I bring it up, and this is now let me remind you that this is an HTML5 concept, meaning that it may not work in certain browsers, especially if it's like a Microsoft browser. It may not work. In Firefox, I haven't checked in Firefox yet, but it may not work. So because of this so you may not be able to use this particular concept in certain browsers if you want it to show up correctly. So I haven't tested this out yet in Chrome. I'm gonna test it out in Chrome right now and see if it works. Alright, so we have my hyperlink right here, and then here we have H1 tag and paragraph tag, and this is what is going to show this is what's going to show the individual when they go to click on it. So when they and I'm gonna go ahead also have my ending tag for my um, ending tag for my hyperlink. So let me save this, and it should now give you the effect is that if it's a block, and you can actually click on the whole entire block to view the hyperlink. Alright, make sure I got it still up here. Do I have it still up here? I think this is it. Alright, there it is. Alright, so all of this is one hyperlink now. So I have the title as well as my description. So I can just click any place on here and it'll take me to that website. It's like I said, it's because this is an HTML5 concept. It may work in some browsers and it may not. You also have the ability to actually put in phone numbers. HTML5, you can put in phone numbers, hyperlinks, as well as text hyperlinks. So, for example, if you make an app or you make a website or make and it's a person can actually view it on their phone, you can actually make a phone number hyperlink. They can click on the hyperlink in your website, and it would open up their dial pad, so they can actually dial that number, and they'll be actually call it. And same thing goes for text messaging. You can click on the text message number, and it automatically opens up your messaging program or messaging app, so you can actually send an app to a particular number. So, and it's not going to work because this is not a mobile device. It's not going to work. I'm actually in my office, but if you want to, I highly recommend actually probably trying it out on your mobile device. But that's what they have there. All right. The next thing we got in our chapter is they talk about CSS sprites. And CSS sprites is a way you can have CSS load multiple images at once, or have an image file that actually has multiple images on it. So it makes it gives the effect as if you're using actually multiple images when you're actually using one file. One of the disadvantages is download on time, because like I mentioned earlier, you are working with a mobile mobile device, and you want to keep the download speed of all of your elements of your website to be as fast as possible, so you can actually help improve performance as well as just the user experience. Yeah, everything is really about nowadays about user experience, making it fast for the user, making it easier to navigate, kind of make it intuitive so they don't have to think too much, and they're able to find your information much faster on a website. Right, so I'm actually going to show you one real quick. I'm going to actually show you the very one they have here in the book. And I also think I have this too. Should be on D12, and it should be under student data files. There it is, right? There it is. Yeah. So I'm opening it up in Chrome. All right, there you go. So right here, it's actually these are not for different images. This is actually four different files. This is actually one file that has these that's had this picture on it more than once. Yeah, I'll show you the let me show you the file. Yeah, right here. Yeah, let me open it up. Yeah. so this is the file right here. So this file is being used multiple times in that web page to make it seem like it's more than one. Actually, it's more than one. So let me open it up in Notepad so we can actually see how this works. Background image. So they're actually having to use it as a background image. Yeah. So the name of that. Make sure. So the name of that image that I had was called sprites.gif. Alright, so you can find that on here. Should be inside the CSS. There it is. Yeah, so there it is right there. So this is, so they have it as positive navigation. Alright, and they have the navigation in it. So whenever they have a anchor tag in the navigation in navigation section, it's going to have use the background image of this GIF, of the sprite GIF, and that's how it was able to. So it's basically showing that image twice because it only has, it should be 4 buttons. Let me go back. Yes, 4 of them. Yes, so this is the top one, and this is one. So and that's how you're able to see actually multiple ones. So all these are the same. It's the same file. It's just that it's showing it multiple times. All right, and that's a lot of developers who actually do develop games use sprites as well. And one of the main reasons is for download time. It makes it faster for the user to actually play the game. Right. So that's a fairly new concept that came out with HTML5 as well as with CSS3. So yes, highly recommend. I think I have a link. I think on our wrong page. We're wrong class that talks about sprites, CSS sprites. It's a very interesting in how many ways and how the advanced ways that people use sprites, especially if you're doing like a game or something. It should be. I think it's on the content. I know CSS Tricks has some information on it. But I was thinking of something else too, but I want to shoot. But I'll put it up too. But yes, CSS Tricks has some articles on CSS sprites as well. While I'm in here, I also want to point out, since we are talking about HTML5 and CSS and how some things may not work on one browser and some won't, there is a website that I have under here in the resources called Can I Use? And this website basically tells you which web browsers you can use and what HTML5 elements you can use in which browsers. So let's say block, because we were using the hyperlink block earlier, right? Say block. All right. So CSS inline block. So anything that says block in it, CSS, it actually tells me yes, these browsers can actually actually support that particular logical box logical. No. So barely. Google barely does it. Display. Running. Yeah, so here your CSS property called text align last. So so I think we had text align justified, but now they're actually calling it last for in CSS3. So Chrome does it. Internet Edge a little bit, but not much. And Safari, they're still late to begin the bandwagon. So in this, you can type in at the top here. You can type in anything up here. Let's see. What's another one we were playing with? Actually, because that's the one that has a telephone. So yep. So our per minute does not support it. However, everything else supports it. Yeah, so like I said, if you're especially if, you guys put the project up there, so highly recommend using this website if you're going to when you're actually making your website and actually check it out in different browsers to make sure it works. You can use this website to see if what elements will work and what elements won't in the particular websites. All right, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and actually stop and actually change. I don't say change. Yeah, change videos. I'm going to actually make a separate video for the second part of the chapter. Yeah, since I'm looking at the clock now, it's about 50 minutes since I've been talking. So, but yeah, I'm going to finish this video now, and I'm going to come back with the second part of chapter 7. Talk to you then.